Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. Welcome to the Depression Recovery Channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. Today is Flashback Friday, a feature in which I republish one of my earlier videos you might not have seen that contains really important coping strategies that will help you attain a better mood. Now here's today's video. The title of today's video is How to Get Better as You Get Older. And of course we have to start with a joke. And to those of you loyal followers who have watched most of my videos, I apologize, this is a repeat, but the jokes topic fits so well with the topic I'm going to talk about, I couldn't resist telling it again. Okay, so at any rate, there's a 92-year-old man, perfect health, except he's a little bit hard of hearing, but one day he doesn't feel so good. So he goes to the doctor. The doctor gives him an exam and writes him a prescription. 2 weeks later, the doctor finds him walking down the supermarket aisle with his arm around a lovely woman, and the doctor says, "Wow, you look great." The man says, "Yeah, I did exactly what you told me. You told me to get a hot mama and be cheerful." Doctor shakes his hand and says, "I never told you that. I told you you have a heart murmur and be careful." Okay, so let's get down to the topic and talk about how to get better as you get older. Well, I have to admit, since I turned 73 months ago, I've been thinking a lot about this subject. And I have to admit that my idea of old age did not start off very well. I remember when I was 18 and my father said he had a friend who was 65. I closed my eyes and said, "Oh my God, that old guy must be in a rocking chair, half dead." And then, of course, my best friend's mother, my best friend was Stuart, her name was Gail Warren. She used to say, "Old age is not for sissies." So, there you have it. Not very good conditioning when I was young. And about 3 years ago, I was traveling on a plane and I met this older couple. I said, "Do you travel a lot?" The man says, "Yes, we used to travel internationally, but now we go incontinent." Okay, so we have to admit that as we get older physically, the body goes into a decline. Now, this is not just my problem. According to experts, physical strength actually peaks at the age of 30. And then every year after that, we lose muscle mass, about 1% a year. And at 70, it's 3%. So maybe this is why elite athletes, when they hit 30, they're in their prime and they often retire after that. So the question is, how can we continue to live well into our 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s with this decline in muscle mass? Well, I have come up with an acronym called ACE, A-C-E. So the first letter in my acronym ACE is A, and it stands for Get Active. Now, if ever there was a fountain of youth, it's exercise. How long have I been preaching this, right? For years, I have been using exercise to help me feel better mentally and physically and manage my anxiety and depression. Now, when we say that exercise is the fountain of youth, it's not just a figurative thing. We now know that exercise stimulates a process called neurogenesis, which means the growth of new brain cells. So when you exercise, it makes you smarter and it prevents cognitive decline. So for those of you who don't like doing Sudoku, hop on your bike, ride up Rocky Butte as I do, or ride up to your nearest hill, or run up your nearest hill, or just get cracking. But again, if you want to feel smarter and be smarter as you grow up, get active. The C in our acronym ACE stands for Get Connected. I just learned about a new book. It's not that new, but a book called Social, Why Our Brains Are Wired to Connect. And the author of this book says that we evolved as human beings and tribes to be gregarious, to be social. And the need for connection and human contact is even more important than that of food and shelter. I certainly would agree from my experience. Now, C also stands for community. And with community, we take connection and we expand it into a wider circle. That's why these places where people go to have sports and take classes are called community centers. I love community. This is why for the past 18 years, my partner and I have run depression and anxiety support groups. People come together. Initially, they don't know each other. They have one thing in common, their depression, their anxiety. And then slowly they heal together in solidarity. Friendships are formed, and in some cases, those friendships continue even after people leave the group. And finally, the E in my acronym stands for Get Engaged. I know a lot of people who've come to my groups who have retired and they get depressed. Why? Because they have nothing to do. They have no sense of purpose in life. And the way to overcome this is to get engaged. Now, many of us do this through travel, volunteer work, regular work, and a multitude of hobbies. In particular, I've noticed that artists and musicians and writers tend to age well because they're always, occupied with something creative. Think of Pablo Casals, the great cellist. When he was 95 years old, he gave a concert before the United Nations. And then there's Frank Lloyd Wright, the great architect. His most prolific period was in his 80s. And then there's another person named Charles Fillmore. Now, he's not an artist. He is the spiritual founder of a spiritual path called Unity, but he was very active with his writing and his teaching. And one day, when he was 93 years old, he got up and he said the following: "I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me." By the way, don't you hate people like that? The last time I sprung out of bed was when my mother poured cold water over me in high school to get me to go to school. So there you have it. Different strokes for different folks. Well, to sum up, the way that I have found to get better as you get older is through the acronym ACE. Get active, get connected, and get engaged. Oh, wait a minute. There's a fourth thing I just thought of. Laugh once a day. That's why I tell these silly jokes at the beginning of each video, because laughter stimulates endorphins in the brain, which creates instant happiness. And people, when they're happy, I believe it slows down the aging process. So there you have it. A laugh a day keeps the psychiatrist away. And as they say in the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, a merry heart is like good medicine. This has been Douglas Bloch. I hope you found the information on this Flashback Friday video helpful. If so, please give it a like, as likes draw more and more people to this channel and hopefully some more subscribers. You can also leave your comments in the comments section or email me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. If you do want to subscribe to this channel, click on my photo in the closing credits. You'll be taken to my subscribe page. And if you click on the bell to the right, you'll be notified every time I do a new video or live chat. And if you want to contribute to this channel and become a patron, simply click on the Patreon image. You'll be taken to my crowdfunding site. And until next video, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thank you so much.